Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening. So, I guess I need to wait for someone. Let me know.
We can start. Gurleen will start with the introductions first.
Uh-huh.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I am Gurleen and I'll be presenting as the host of this session. I hope you're all having a great day and are just as eager as I am for what's in the store tonight. Today, we're honored to welcome someone truly exceptional, a leader whose impact goes far beyond technology to the people who use it. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sunil Kumar, a globally respected authority in agile project management, web accessibility, and inclusive design. Welcome, sir.
Thank
With
you.
more than 12 years of international experience, he has taken on roles as an agile coach, academic researcher, published author, and a mentor, all with a single mission to make innovation accessible to all. Mr.
Guys,
Sunil has contributed over 20 such publications, spoken at 5 international conferences as a keynote speaker, and written 3 books on agile and project management. Right now, he is mentoring students and professionals in 12 countries, helping them build careers that are not only rewarding but also inclusive by design. Tonight, he'll be leading us through the essential topic of inclusive designs and universal products, a strategy to build innovative, accessible solutions. So let's put our hands together and give a very warm welcome to the amazing Mr. Sunil Kumar.
Thank you so much. That was quite a wide introduction. Just ignore every part of it. Accept me as one of your colleagues, classmates, or your university students who is trying to present what I have been researching on. My goal of this talk is to everyone. Uh, I'm
good evening, sir.
very good evening. For some reason, I'm getting voice back. I'm. I guess I need to wait for someone. Let me know. Is it with everyone? For some reason, I am hearing my own voice. Give me one.
Guys, if possible, please on your cameras as well, right?
Yeah. Thank you. I believe I solved that part. Yeah, please accept me as one of your classmates who is eager in spreading awareness. I believe this is my third or fourth session at your university in different societies. My goal is to share this awareness so that you young minds, whenever you're going to hackathons or any of your innovative ideas, please be inclusive. So let's roll down again. A typical classic way of doing the things. I brought a PPT with me, maybe 10 slides, but my goal is not to read through them. Let us make it more engaging. First 5 people to be on camera would be getting some surprise gift from the host, is what I heard. That's your choice. I'll not force you. I know it's 9:30 p.m. at your place. Being on camera makes it more engaging than a one-way YouTube video kind of thing. So please see if you can be on camera for an engaging conversations. I'll go ahead and get started over here. Let me share my screen and let me know once you could see my PowerPoint presentation. Can someone confirm if you all
Yes,
see
sir,
this?
it is visible.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Gurleen. All right, today I'm here to focus on this topic of inclusive designs, which I have blended across 3 different disciplines. Of course, empathy is everyone's characteristic, what we have. And agility is one of the iterative, incremental, and empirical ways of developing a software or developing a product. It's not just related to a software, it's related to a process, product, and of course, people's characters too. And the third one is inclusion. So I'll be focusing on these 3 things over here today. I'll try to finish the slides as soon as possible, because my goal is to have an engaging conversation rather than reading through the slides. So to start with, some of the facts are on the numbers. So let's go through that first. So I would say we have close to 1.3 billion people with disabilities worldwide, which is a very large population. And if you are thinking yourself as an entrepreneur, then a rupee from 1.3 billion people would make you a billionaire, or a dollar from them would make you a billion-dollar person. So if you're thinking around that aspects of business, that's a good market out there. There is more than 8+ trillion annual disposable income coming from different societies, different governments, to help these people with different abilities to build them some kind of application software, or not even that, any hardware or any other assistance that we can do. And 73% of consumers are influenced by disability. It reads like a shock. Yes, it is. Most of the population are disabled at some point in their life. We'll dive deep into that in a while. So what are universal products? Products which are being usable by all, regardless of age, language, or environment. We all know that, right? When we watch different movies of different language across different languages, the closed captions which we have, by the way, I miss turning on my closed captions. It's not a good part on my end. Let me turn on them for all the audience. They have their ability to turn on at their end too. So yeah, the closed captions really help us in watching movies of different languages, though the closed captions were first time invented or discovered for people with different abilities who cannot listen with their audio disability. It has been discovered for them. But now we all commonly use that as a luxury, which removes the barriers across different countries and languages. And going beyond accessibility, every time we think about a disability, we just imagine in our mind a person with no legs or a person with no hands or something like that. That's not my goal. Yes, there are that population. We need to be inclusive for them. But we always take it for granted and forget that all our abilities are temporary. We can go through a minor surgery and we might lose an ability to see for a couple of days, to speak for a couple of days, or to walk or climb stairs for a couple of days. Even that, we lost some ability. And during that time, for example, some of you or me had a LASIK surgery and I need to close my eyes for 2 weeks. Man, how would I live without an Insta for 2 weeks, right? So think about these aspects of different abilities which people can go through at different phases of their life. We'll dive deep with little more examples as I go. So there are 3 types of disabilities is what they describe, or WHO classifies them. Permanent disability, people who lost their ability of vision, audio, or mobility for their life, they are classified as permanent disabilities. Temporary disabilities, people who went through an injury, went through an accident, a mishap, definitely have a temporary injury. For example, here in this image, I've taken an example of the popular person, Rahul Dravid, over there. And situational, of course, we are driving. There is a lot of chat going on between a group of people about you, and you want to respond to them, but you didn't get a chance to go ahead and type. You would simply speak, right? So you would use, hey Siri, type this message for them, or you'd use your speech to text in order to send them an audio. So all these different functionalities which you see of an application could be related to software, could be related to different forms of accessibility for the people. Okay. Let's dive deep. There are a few more examples of what are different permanent disabilities, temporary or situational. For example, for touch, someone who lost an arm, they lost their someone is texting here in the chat. I'll come back to your comments and examples. Yes, I have heard about that yesterday too from one of your students. And yes, I have seen that in Microsoft also. We have an example on that coming shortly. So yes, for example, touch, someone lost an arm, someone had an injury on an arm, or someone is carrying their baby or carrying their laptop, or while working, they want to do something. They cannot do it. In those situations, your speech to text would help us. Again, similarly, we have audio. audible or hearing, and then speaking, and then cognitive abilities. All these are cognitive. We all will go through that. I strongly believe, and there are a lot of scientific studies going on which says that 50% of our population in next 20 years would have cognitive disability because our association with the devices and our short attention span. So that's in there. So whenever you're building you're thinking about any innovative idea or any innovative product, think about these different situations and how could your product be different? How could you get that competitive edge by including a new functionality, which not only helps the people with disabled, but would also help the able people to get into their comfort zone. Now, the three words which I used: agility, empathy, and inclusion. So agile is a process of software development, hardware development, any application developments or any product development. Agile is a way of doing it. And those people, that methodology mainly frames around shorter cycles, shorter experimentation cycles. And based on these short cycles, we gain a knowledge which will help us to adapt or change the direction to improve our product. So it is based on shorter feedback cycles, shorter increments, and based on the empirical or evidence-based data. There is a good concept called shift left accessibility, which means just do not test your applications whether they are compatible to a disabled people or not, or whether we have compliances of disability or not. Rather, check them, include that thought of design during the design phase, during the development phase, rather than just using them at the end of testing. I brought an example over here from the website where Wells Fargo Bank was using agile way of taking a feedback from their customers, where they are trying to include the people with disabilities to come and test their product so that they can see how well people can use it. And that's when they got that, people with poor visibility or people who are blind, they cannot use this app much well. So they started using a screen reader testing. And eventually, Wells Fargo Bank is the first of its bank to adapt ASL, which is American Sign Language, for people with audio disabilities or hearing disabilities. All right. Next one is empathy. Of course, you all empathize something, then only a new product meets, or then only a new product gets into life. Because we feel, I want to eat something right now, but I don't feel like going to a restaurant. And then comes there the Zomato, a new product, or your Uber Eats. Similarly, everything which a product is coming out to be a discovery is because of empathy which somebody goes through. It's not a sympathy, it's an empathy. You feel what they feel. So empathizing would definitely build a universal products which can be widely used. Now, my intention is not just build a product which is inclusive for disabled people. I'm not trying to say that build a product for everyone, put them inclusive. Of course, that is a part, but my main goal is think around any application which you're developing, how a disabled people can use it. And if you try to improve your application or product to cater their needs, your product becomes a universal, which being said, anybody can use it. And people with abilities also can use it as a luxury or your competitive advantage. Example, as stated over here, Uber has added audio alerts. And there are several examples, right? We all know through that. For example, we use WhatsApp as an audio message. Ideally, it is for people who cannot type with visual disabilities. We can use that. You all use haptics, might have an idea on it. So it is your vibration mode. Put it in a very simple terms. It is your vibration mode. Then, if your phone is in silent, you can still know that somebody is calling you because it is vibrating. Similarly, people with audio issues, hearing impairment, they can still answer a phone because now they know that there is a vibration issue. There is a vibration going on because of the haptics. And inclusion, this is my third part. agility, empathy, and inclusion. Inclusive teams. If your team has that inclusive mindset, or if your team has the diversity of different abilities, would definitely help you to create a product, a universal product with a larger audience or consumers for it. And yeah, of course, design is not truly innovative if it leaves a larger population. You're creating a movie and saying that this is only for this sect of people, compared to you're creating a movie in different languages or removing that language barriers and see how many people are benefited out of that. And one of the best examples in most recent times, which was released in March, Microsoft Xbox Adaptive Controller. Now it has, you can instead, earlier it was like using with two hands. Now we can use it with just one hand. Or here, I would show this as an example. So instead of using it with two hands and with all that functionalities over there, now people can use it with one hand. You see that they have tried to promote it, saying that people with disabilities can use it, but people with abilities like us can also have two different controllers, and we can play as a gamer A and gamer B with the same thing. And there goes Siri was launched in 2011, so that people with visual impairments can use the phone as easy as people with others, because we lost the touchpad, right? We used to have that keypad where we enter the numbers. Now it's everything become a touchpad. So they have moved on to this Siri, which really is helping people to use that phone. So now any product which you are thinking around, try to be inclusive. It will give you a competitive edge. And some of the examples which were actually discovered for people with different abilities or disabled people, like the closed captions, as I mentioned earlier, removes the barriers. Your remote control, people with lesser abilities, less mobility, it has been invented for them. But now we have remote controls for everyone and everything. And then the typewriters, it was actually first invented by a friend for his blind friend, and so that he can write. But now we see that has been gone into a keyboard, touchpad, and we have everything else over here. I know that we as a students would be interested more in this smaller keypad, which only has 3 buttons, Control, C, and V, because we mostly do that, right? Even in industries, people do that because we try to copy that from tech stack and then browser stack and then copy it and modify it. Next, I have been told that this is a incubation center or innovative center, so I thought to bring some of the examples. One of these examples from Bombay-based, I believe Bangalore-based startup, which is Ramp My City. All they did is a small difference in thinking. They just had those aluminum ramps and those are what I would say mobile, which means you can carry them and put them aside during the daytime or during the nighttime and lay it down when you use it. So a simple ramp has been built, which makes that restaurant, which makes that facility more accessible than just having stairs. Okay, now let me ask you a question. What are the different or the other alternative uses of that ramp, you believe? What could be the other alternative uses of that ramp apart from wheelchair? Anyone can try? Does anyone want to try? Carry heavy stuff. Very good. You can have a stroller over there. You can carry a baby stroller is there. Very good. People with less mobility who use walking sticks, they can use that ramp instead of this. You can get your bikes on it, get your railing skirts on it, your railing skates on it. You can do a lot of other stuff. So it is not just for people with disabilities, but it serves as a universal product which would help others to take an advantage of it. Similarly, your text-to-speech. You're driving, you want to hear what's there on your WhatsApp or your Insta or anywhere else on your texts. It would convert you into a speech or an audio, and then you can hear it. Similarly, the reverse of it, speech to text. While you're driving, you want to message someone, you can use it. So these are just very basic examples. I try to keep it simple because different audience can understand it. And my goal is just to trigger this thought in your minds that being little inclusive would definitely make your product more advantage. And as I'm saying, if you invent something, discover something, people would use it in a different way. Text to speech is actually for people with blind, but we all use it. The tram for people with wheelchair, but everyone uses it. Similarly, look at this different uses by a different person over here. So he's using the walking stick for a very different reason. People use it for walking, but he's using it for standing or for sitting. All right. So next, with this, I want to end my slide and my discussion. Take it back to you. If anyone wants to try, what does this picture show over here? Anyone? What does this picture? What is the difference in this picture? What is wrong in here? Or what is missing in this? Disabled people can't use stairs. Thank you so much, Arav. Thank you. It makes it engaging. Probably everyone had this answer in their mind, but they're not speaking because maybe it's live, or maybe I didn't give that psychological safety yet to speak. But thank you for that. We all observe this every day, at every place, at every elevator we see this, but it never triggered us. Even for me, it didn't trigger like 2 or 3 years ago. Until 3 years ago, I never thought about that. And that situation can be for any of us. We met with an incident, we had a cramp, we had an injury. Any of us can be in that situation. But still, in that event, people get ignored. So be inclusive, think around it. Civil engineers, if you are there, what can we do for this? What's an alternative for this? And things like that. All right, a little more probably exercise to your brain, or little more activity so that it stays in your mind. Now, you see these traffic lights over here. So the one over here is the normal people can see it, and this is what a colorblind people will see it. Now, any ideas on how we can improve for them? How we can improve these traffic lights for colorblind people, or people with color blindness? Anyone, any ideas? Because they see all these three as yellow. Anyone? You can type in the chat. Using different symbols. Yes, agree on that part. Absolutely agree on that part. Any other ideas? In one of the conversations, someone was saying, put an audio over there. When it is green, it says green or go, slow down or stop. Even that is a good idea. And yes, I like your idea of shapes over there. This is what people in Europe are trying to use it now. Let me remove this part. Then they are trying to come up with different shapes. I know it's a weird shape. So triangle for a red and square for a green and circle for a yellow. On this, vegetarian and non-vegetarian, any ideas on how we can improve this? People with colorblind see both of them as same thing. Any thoughts? How can we solve that problem? Shapes, okay, agree, Aditya, that's right. Similarly, it's the same example, right? What we have been using over here, give different shapes and it would help resolve that problem also here. And you're right, we all have these shapes very commonly used. Okay, with this, I would like to conclude the presentation part, and now begins the engagement where I'm looking forward from every one of you to ask me more questions and make it more engaging. Any questions from you all? This seems to be a very silent crowd. Yesterday it was very engaging from the same university. Yep, Prabinder, if I'm saying your name correct, you had a question. I see your hand raised.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, please address me as Sunil. I take that as a respect. Go ahead, Prabinder, you are audible.
So Sunil, what's a typical day like you for in the Bank of America, like, is it as intense as we imagine? Like, what are your views on that?
What do you imagine? let me
Uh,
decipher the relative word intense. Go
what
ahead.
I imagine is that as a employee of Bank of America, your
Mhm.
work ethic is very, intense and very like busy. Like, this is what I see. But actually,
Mhm.
like, I don't know. That's why I asked you. So, what
Yeah,
are your
good,
thoughts
good,
on
good. Good question. I'll put it in a much elaborative way so that it helps you. I love what I'm doing out there. I'm not a software engineer. I'm a uh, agile delivery lead with an accessibility part of it. So most part of my day, half of my day is in the Bank of America, or at least 2 or 3 hours a day, is engaging in conversations with different units of Bank of America, like credit card lending, debit card lending, or all of that part, where I am spreading the awareness around accessibility and trying to see how we can be more inclusive. And remaining part is about my work on the delivery portion, where I'm implementing agile practices to enhance the flow of delivery. That's how my typical day at the bank looks like. Outside of it, I do a lot of trainings on accessibility. I'm a certified trainer on agile and project management. I do a lot of that, and of course, I spend some of my time in being with people like you.
Right, so thank you so much, sir. One more thing I wanted to ask,
Mhm.
like as a college student, like I'm in my second year, how can I
Mhm.
learn project management?
Absolutely. Uh, how did you select your college? Wasn't that a big project for you?
Sorry.
How did you select your college after your pearl or a high school? You might had several options. You need to make a choice. How did you do that?
Right, I, like normal person would do exactly. I did, like,
Done a research, try to
yes,
compare between different universities
yeah, just compared my
based on your
marks and the results
score and your
available.
budget,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Absolutely. Similarly, in the project management, also we do the same thing with a given budget, within a given time, with the given team members or the skill set or the scope, we try to deliver it. If you want to learn project management, what I would say is join PMI, Project Management Institute. I know I'm not talking about accessibility here, but since that was your question, join PMI, Project Management Institute, and you have a lot of webinars out there, especially for beginners. You can join some of your closest communities of PMI. It should be in almost all the states of India. That's how you get exposed to a lot of those things and start thinking about product development. When you start thinking, you get a lot of questions. When you get questions, you try to YouTube, Insta, or Google yourself, and then you would get a lot more understanding and clarity. And yeah, of course, if you are starting thinking about that in your second year, by the time you come to fourth year or you do more advanced studies, who knows, you probably come up with a whole new framework.
Thank you so much, Sunil. Thank you so much.
Sure, Prabinder. And this is a very common question I get from most of my mentorship sessions, which I'm mentoring across 17 countries. This is common from people in universities. All right. Any other questions I have from audience? Let me check the chat. Okay, Ojas was asking, what are some key innovations or digital transformations currently happening at Bank of America? Probably that is one. I'm not representing my bank out here as a talk, and since we are also talking in a larger platform, I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of bank. But at a very high level, I would say that yes, we are using artificial intelligence uh, to enhance the customer experience. Beyond that, I'm not authorized to speak at this platform. Right. Any other questions we have? Ask me anything. If I don't know, probably I could refer you to some person who knows, or I could engage you with those within those communities who would have more answers for your questions. Okay. I take this silent group as not on a Friday night, man. Who spoils a Friday night at 9:30 p.m., right? Okay. If no other questions, then we'll try to keep this session short at 30 minutes. Gurleen, do you have anything on the closing comments?
So we've got a question from Anmol right now.
Anmol, yeah. And Gurleen, please answer me. Please address me as Sunil. All right.
Okay, sir.
Let's check this. Sir is a too heavy word for me. How can students or young professionals contribute to accessibility through their projects? Very good question. You made my day, Anmol. I thought it's a silent group, but you made me realize that people are listening. Right. Just think about this. You start, maybe you're in hostel, I don't know, maybe you're at home. You imagine your one typical day. You start at your home, do all your regular hygienes, and then you start to your college. You get on the bus or you bike, reach to your college, and then you hear all the classes, listen to all the classes, maybe, possibly. Nobody listens to classes in the college, by the way. And then in the evening when you're going back, note down your typical day. Imagine that day, either without a hand or either without your eyes. Just imagine that. See what all different blockers you have. And then see, are there any solutions existing for those blockers, for those impediments, which is slowing you down? For example, you're trying to brush your teeth, you do not have one hand. Are there any other alternative things which you can use for brushing? Getting onto the bus, you do not have a ramp on your bus. What is the alternative do you have? Just think around that. Research if we already have an existing products. If not, see how other countries, what products they have. Boom, you got a solution. Or you got an idea to do more research, do more thinking to come up with an innovative solution to solve that problem. This I suggested to someone way back in my talk during December, and they are still in touch with me or LinkedIn, and we are trying to do a project on haptics. While we were trying to work on it, already someone has patented. They had a haptic dress. You wear that jacket, and then you go into that live music. So what happens usually, people who are deaf, they cannot experience the music. But in order for them to experience, they have created this haptics jacket, which would convert those music into a haptics or vibrations and help them experience the same experience. So Anmol, did I answer your question in short, in long? Okay. Next, I see Gurnur. I'll ignore the sir in your comment over there. Sunil, where can I get development of different companies in depth about health tech? Okay, go to Gartner, Gartner. Go over there, or in the Google, we have a Google Alerts. Open your Google browser. Of course, you're logging in with your own profile. You have a Google Alerts. Set the alerts key to health tech. Every day you'll get a news. Very quality news about health tech into your inbox. Screen them whatever you want to study. Just looking at the headlines for 15 minutes every day for an year would make you close to expert. How can young entrepreneurs balance profit with purpose, especially in accessibility? Yes, that's a good question. This is where an overlap of thoughts happen. People believe that, you're welcome, Gurnur. People believe that if I'm including accessibility over here, say for example, I'm developing an application. Now, if I need to think that, okay, this is an application which I have developed, but how would people who are blind would use it? Now, what happens is, in order to create this functionality, I need to spend more budget on this. I need to spend more investment on this. That would cut down my profits. But think it in a different way. Yesterday, I was using an example. If people are repeating this session from yesterday, ignore my same example. So Zomato is there. Example, Zomato wanted to launch Zomato or any other delivery. Okay, why I'm advertising that over here, sponsoring that over here. So any of the product delivery, if they have it, now they have a choice between, shall I release this product or shall I be more inclusive in what if a blind person wants to use it? Now, given that situation, if they really wanted to compare between these two, probably they would release the product. But their immediate next increment or next version of the product should be to be addressing this wider audience. Now, why should they do it? If I pitch them saying that, oh, it is to be more inclusive for the blind people, probably people who are blind could get more attractive to it. But if I put it in a different way, that we can use a speech to order something in Zomato. Hey, Zomato, order this from so-and-so restaurant to this address by this time. While you're driving, you're also getting a Zomato time for it. Okay, I believe music is the only thing which can run for 24 hours or which gives you, who would have a 24 hours of consumers. But whereas other apps which needs touch, while driving, you cannot do it, right? While doing something else where your hands are occupied, you cannot do it. But imagine using a speech to text conversion over there in your app, putting a small microphone, click on it, give the microphone access to your phone, and then you just order through your speech. It increases the time that your customers can engage with your application. So now your question is, if I could be more inclusive, I'd be spending more time. Don't do that. At least your first iteration, send it out, but your next immediate importance should be to be more inclusive by adding this. Now you have done two things, included blind people in it. Second thing is you have increased the availability or the engagement of people on your app by multiple folds by adding that small feature.
Sunil, I have one more question.
Sure.
Like we are developing a startup. Basically, it is a yoga mat, in which we have integrated AI into it. We have integrated different sensors into it, from which we will collect the data and develop a health report out of it. So,
Very good.
how can we make it more inclusive?
Good. So what kind of data points are you capturing?
First of all, in the starting, in the app, the person will enter his or her height, right? From which we can basically tell him or her about the posture, like where to place your hands, where to place your feet, and do yoga correctly. And the other sensors are piezoelectric sensors, in which we will get the data of the pressure points of how much pressure they are sending, right?
Correct.
And the third sensor is we have a camera as well, in which we will make a stick diagram, right? So we will see whether they are doing the posture is correct or not. So these three data points we are collecting.
Perfect. It by design itself seems more inclusive. Thank you for that. Now think around people with different abilities. Of course, everyone cannot do yoga,
Yes.
but people who can do yoga, who is a blind or who has that, I would say, hearing impairment, how can they use your product? Can I add a little audio extension to my app? As soon as they get into the map, you can say that, hey, you're not right on the mat. Probably you need to extend your left leg a little bit or a right leg a little bit. You need to move upward or downward. That could be a thing, which is just a small extension of audio speech out, right? The text which is suggesting something on your app, it could be an audio input for the people with blind, I would say. And on the mat, you can, I'm not sure whether you said that or not, you can have that haptics, which shows that, the way the car has it. So if you're going outside of the lane, the car gives a haptics, a vibration saying it's going outside of the lane. Similarly, you can integrate, this is just my thought, okay? You can integrate haptics onto your mat, which says that you're outside of this pressure area, it's not at the correct location or something like that.
Cool, nice idea. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And again, I'm not a guru on solving a problem. My thought is just to seed this idea of inclusivity in anything you're doing. That would definitely make world a better place.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hi, very good evening, sir.
Very good evening. Anish, please don't call me sir, call me Sunil. That is more respectable. Sir makes
Yeah.
me feel like a professor, which would increase the distance, right?
Right, Sunil, right. So I wanted to ask, I wanted to have a broader perspective about the new startup culture. Like, if in today's time, it's really like difficult to find a like $1 billion idea, or I just go on thinking it like it's not being done in the world. मतलब अभी वो इस time पे हो ना रहा हो something unique.
Correct.
So
Correct.
finding that is, I guess, very next to impossible. Like if I think something new to me, but it's already being implemented in a better way. So how to deal with that, and like how can we create new opportunities in this industry?
Very good. Again, I would go back with the same example. You woke up in the evening, came back and slept at the night. Between these, your engagement journey, what are the different pain points you're identifying? Sometimes we feel like, hey, wish I could have had this, that could have solved a problem. In those days, we used to have micro Xeroxes, right, for our exams. So wish we had a smallest micro Xerox so that I could compress the entire book into small thing and put it as a cheat and write my exam. Just sharing it for fun. Okay, similarly, think about what is something that is slowing you down throughout the day. And then you see that, oh, there is an opportunity. Now think deep about it. Now try to engage with people who are aligned with your ideas. Be a critic of your own idea, and that's how you would come up with it.
You are saying that we encounter daily problems, like we have to build on that only. But
Exactly.
um, I did the same, but again that problem that it is being implemented in a better way and is being already done, and I do not see a gap where I could like edge जहाँ पे मुझे मिल पाए.
Okay, that possibly could not be true. Could not be true in my sense is that definitely there is a chance of innovation, or else how constantly people are improving. So I'll give you a small example. In organizations like where I professionally work, we do a framework called evidence-based management, where we have 4 key value areas. Okay, this would help you.
Okay.
First is called unrealized value, which I just mentioned. What we have, what we do not have. What is the gap between that? What is the company currently doing? What are the customers looking forward for? What is the gap that we can bridge? That is called unrealized value. Current value is what we are currently giving to the customers. So these are 2 aspects. The other 2 aspects are ability to innovate. How fast can the organization innovate? And the time to market. How sooner can we deliver? Now, these are the 4 elements which almost big organizations use it. Okay, if you're seeing a new product from Microsoft, because it is falling into one of these unrealized values and ability to innovate or time to market. So if you have these 4 in your mind, whenever you're thinking about a problem, there could be a solution already existing. I would say that. But then what is the gap between the existing solution and what else it can do?
Okay.
If you have been using Uber or Ola or Lyft, I don't know what else. Yeah. But I know that these are common. So if you see that their first version of app is totally different to the version of app which is now. They might have just started with engagement between the driver and the rider and the driver, but now they have increased it to feedbacks, security, map tracking, audio capture. It has been a lot. So there is a gap. There is a opportunity for improvement. So once you find that, oh, I have this problem, but a solution already exists, think deep around how could you improve that solution. Netflix is there from 10 years. Did it stop innovating? Did it stop, improving?
Right, got it.
Accessibility feature of Netflix. They recently have hired. Netflix has hired in sense integrated ASL, which is like on your screen a movie plays, and then if you turn on or if you opt for that, then on the top of the screen there would be a sign language which would be describing the entire video, entire movie. So people who are deaf, they don't need, like children, they need not just read it, but the sign language would help them understand what's going on in the movie.
Got it.
That's a very simple thing to add over there. So there are only thing we need is focus.
Yeah, sure. Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Anish. Anyone else have any other questions? Except for how to pass exams? No? Nothing else to discuss? Okay. And especially in conversations like these, try to speak. When you speak, the speaker remembers your name. When you try to engage with them later, you're building a network. And when you're having an access to a network, that is your net worth. So you all students who are very young at now, whenever you get an opportunity, I believe your university have a lot of hosts over there. Try to speak and ask questions so that you build your network out there. Because I might have a circle of different levels of experts, and you people have energy and time. Probably we could bridge this gap because I might have a lot of ideas I do not have time to do. And you people might have a lot of time but lack of ideas. If I throw an idea to you, might do a research, boom, you can come up with a whole new thing. Right. Any other questions I can help you with? Somebody's asking my LinkedIn link. Okay, let me post that in the chat for you all. Right. It could have been more engaging. Believe me, it could have been more engaging if at least few of you are on cameras. But I totally understand, being on a Friday evening, there could be a lot of bottles or noise around. I still respect that. I still feel honored that you all joined this session despite of this late evening class or late evening timing. Parbinder, you have one more question. Again, sir, please get to the habit of Sunil. Sunil, it would be really very great if you can provide some opportunity in the form of some ideas or projects on which we can work. Let's connect. So I would give you the link of my ADP list where I have been, as I said, right, I've been mentoring across 17 countries now so far, more than 200 different sessions I have done. People from different organizations. You can't even know, you can't even imagine where I'm getting connected with. They come up with their problems in their local things and they say that how can we solve? And their problems can be solved by just 2 lakh rupees maybe. It's not about asking money. They need something, some sponsorship to develop a solution which would help in their community to improve their living. We get connected. We talk about their problems, the challenges that they have, look at the funding groups, connect with them, with the venture capitalists, VCs. We go through that. So yeah, please connect with me or ADP list. Let me leave that link also over here in the chat. Or if you ping me in the LinkedIn, I would suggest the same thing, that connect with me on the ADP list. We can have more discussion around your interests. But however, let me leave the link over here. By the way, ADP list is a very good platform. I believe there is also one more much popular in India. What is it called as? TopMate.io. That's also a very good platform. Join over there, connect with people. It's not like Facebook or something. You need to go and browse and find some person and ask them for a 30 minutes of mentoring time. And then you see that how it changes the way you're thinking. All right.
So the link which you shared, it is not working. ADP list one.
What does it say? Clicking on it. Oh, maybe I typed it twice. I'm sorry. Yeah, this should be the link. It's the same link. I pasted it twice.
Cool. It works.
Sure. You're welcome. All right. Anything else, team? I don't want you all to keep on hanging over here. Thank you, Aradhya. Hope you carry on this. Yesterday, someone was asking, hey, man, I heard the same thing like 3 months ago. Good. You can see a movie twice. You can see a reel twice and share it with your friends. Then please share this with different people. Just to think about inclusive, it would create very innovative products. Think everything that you're using today, has been sparked out of inclusivity. What if they cannot do this? What is the other alternative? What if I cannot type my credit card number? What is the other alternative? Take a photograph. People call it a lazy man's thing, but I call it a smart man's thing. Okay. With this, I will try to conclude. Back to you, Gurnur.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is
Good
Dr. Gaganpreet Kaur. I am the president of Institutions Innovation Council. The students, they have conducted this session, and it was really a very informative session. You have actually given them a brief thing into how to be thinkers, how to be innovators, how to be product managers. So all you have actually very diverse lessons you have actually given them in a single short session. It was very, very interesting. I was quietly listening. I was actually trying to gauge the things, imbibe certain of the things and learnings from your session. And really, thank you for the wonderful session. And we look forward to connect with you in future also for more such informative sessions.
Absolutely, sure. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And wonderful session, Team IIC. Congratulations to you all for conducting this a very insightful session, I should say. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Right. Anything else from my end, Gurnur? Or did Gurnur already left? So back to you, host, whoever is hosting this.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Sunil.
Gurleen. Why I was using Gurnur? Sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gurleen.
Guys, anybody having any questions for Mr. Sunil? Okay, I guess everyone's done. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil, for sharing your invaluable insights and expertise with us this evening. And thank you, everyone, for being the part of this important conversation. Sunil, we really look forward for having another such a conversation with you. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening ahead, everyone. Good night and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, you can leave if you want to, right? Karman, are you here? I think he left. Sukhpreet, you can stop the recording as well.